You're killing. So why other adults coming in playing the race game? The worst thing y'all can do is play the race game in this redneck county, nigga. That black judge, they already working to get her out of there. She will not be a judge in Collin County anymore. And if you from the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you know them people don't play out there, nigga. They from out of town. These are outsiders. They will make an example out of that black kid. And black people will get him hung playing the race card. How dumb can you be? This is the time we supposed to say, let's come together. Why can't we all get along? This is that time so we can have his life spurred. They gonna hang that boy. He deserved to go to prison. If you take a life, you ain't supposed to be able to walk away with no consequences. It's consequences to your actions, right or wrong. Even if you justified to take a life, your life wasn't in danger. Karmelo was wrong, dead wrong. In the witness accounts of what he said, he grabbed the book bag. Let me tell black people how dumb y'all live. Don't you know they got a police report with the evidence of a knife and not a cleat sharpener? There's no such thing as a cleat sharpener. They have evidence, a police report where they confiscated a knife. How dumb can y'all be? And black people, y'all don't have no compassion for a parent who have to bury their child. Y'all haven't extended no level of empathy for another dead kid.
Nope.
Black people, I hate that this kid will be sacrificed, but he's not from here, so I don't give a fuck about it. Fuck him. His daddy is a weak nigga to me. Nigga, y'all out here in this $900,000 house rent. These people say y'all got 4 or 5 registered failed businesses, and man, they finna make a mockery out of y'all. But your daddy, nigga, the daddy ain't got nothing to say and his boy dead. You let the bitch do, nigga, you weak, nigga. That's why the boy weak. You weak, that's why the boy weak. And the mama weak, cause nigga, she doing all this goddamn talking, but he left out of your house with a knife. With a knife. Stay at home, mom. And nobody cares about your daughter can't sleep because y'all getting death threats. Your son killed somebody. That boy brother can't sleep from holding his brother dying. Ooh. You think people, y'all are not the victims. Karmelo Anthony, you and your renting family, y'all are not homeowners in a town full of homeowners. Y'all are renters. You're not even from here. And you done brought people that's not from here to cause trouble and try to divide us from our good blacks. You're gonna pay, Anthony family. They're gonna hang. Your boy's gonna suffer. See, right now, y'all, this was
that was Charleston White, and while I don't agree with everything that he has to say, he was spot on, in my opinion, and what he just said. Let's get to it. It has recently come out that we now know that Karmelo Anthony will be charged as an adult, and he is being charged with first-degree murder, a felony charge that carries a life sentence if found guilty for killing Austin Metcalf. All right? I'm going to read a little bit of this right here. The teen who's been charged in the murder of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf will be tried as an adult in Texas. Last month, Metcalf was stabbed to death at a high school track meet after reportedly telling Karmelo Anthony, 17, that he was sitting in the wrong seat. Anthony has been charged with first-degree murder and, according to an arrest warrant, told police of the fatal stabbing, "I did it." Anthony will be tried as an adult since Texas is a concurrent jurisdiction state, according to Capital B. The laws allow prosecutors to charge minors, typically 16 or 17 years old, as adults with certain crimes. The Collin County District Attorney's Office, which is north of Dallas, is prosecuting the case of Metcalf's apparent murder. Anthony was charged with first-degree murder in April, but a grand jury will review the evidence and decide whether to formally indict on that charge or on a lesser charge like manslaughter, Capital B reported. If Anthony is convicted of first-degree murder, he could face life in prison with a chance at parole after 40 years. After 40 years. Yo, let me say this before before I delve into what's about to happen to this young black boy. There's a consequence that comes along with not knowing or understanding the law. And that's with anything, right? Because you can claim that you're ignorant of knowing the law, yet and still it will not exonerate or absolve you from bearing the weight of being guilty of breaking it. Let me say that one more time, because a lot of y'all study law through social media comments and study at the Instagram Institute of Law. So let me repeat what I just said so that it's painfully clear for everybody. I want people to understand, especially my young people. When I talk to my boys, I have 3 of them. When I talk to my older boys, my young one is too young yet. But when I talk to my boys, I consistently tell them about how important it is to think things through fully. And how if they ever find themselves in a position of not knowing, and I'm not there, I am one phone call away. And I tell them that because I want them to know that not knowing the law or being ignorant of it will not save them from the consequences of breaking them. In other words, you cannot make an emotional decision in the moment and then feign ignorance and be cleared of all wrongdoing. It does not work that way. 9 times out of 10, it is not going to turn out well for you. Even if you get a lighter sentence, 1 day in jail or prison is too long for me and mine. It's too long for me and mine. 1 day is too long for me and mine. Y'all are still out here arguing in the comments about whether what happened was right or wrong, while this kid is being charged and as an adult for first-degree murder. What the hell are we talking about? Y'all are having the wrong discussion. You are having the wrong discussion. It's too late to talk about whether he was right or wrong. At this point in time, it doesn't matter whether or not you think he was justified in the killing of another boy, because the law has already said that whatever happened that day under that tent was wrong. It already said it. It's wrong. And you can disagree all you want to. And you can lean on the race baiting topics and headlines all you want to. And you can yell from the mountaintop, "Free Karmelo!" and hashtag justice for Karmelo all you want to. All that matters now are the facts. So let's talk about them. Let's talk about them. Fact number 1. What you cannot do, you cannot bring a weapon onto school property, keep that weapon concealed, and then dare another student, or anyone for that matter, to touch you so that you can then go and retrieve that concealed weapon and then use it against them in the act of committing a crime, in this case, a murder. You can't do it. That's against the law. And also grounds for, guess what? Premeditation. Which I told you all in the last video about this case, that the defense team was going to have a very, very, very difficult task on their doorstep of trying to prove that this wasn't in some way, shape, or form premeditated. I told you all that. Here's fact number 2. In a first-degree murder case, the weapon of choice does not matter. A knife will be treated like a gun. There's no difference. In other words, if Karmelo Anthony had brought a loaded gun onto school property and had kept it in his book bag or waistband or wherever, and then dared somebody to touch him because they didn't like where he was sitting, and he proceeded to pull that gun out and shoot him dead, it would be the same situation in terms of how the law would handle it. You cannot dare someone to touch you knowing that you have a concealed weapon at the ready. That's premeditation. You know something they don't know. That's premeditation. You're setting the stage. Hello? Hello, black people? You're setting the stage. Here's fact number 3. People who don't know the law and react off of pure emotions will always lead you wrong. Here's how black people did it. I believe that Karmelo Anthony and his parents were led astray in this case in terms of how they should have moved and how they should have had him plead in this case. Black people in the comments and media trying to show support for this boy, what they have also done is given that Karmelo and his family, that family, what they have done is given them hope that they could beat this case if he pled not guilty. And I think that was a misstep that will cost them dearly. It's going to cost them dearly. Not even considering a plea deal will cost them dearly. It will come back to burn the defense. You are now saying, hey, I'll take my chances with 12 random strangers who will then go and proceed to look over every detail of this case and then make a judgment solely based off of the evidence. Evidence, by the way, by the law standards, has already determined that you're guilty of, at the very least, voluntary manslaughter. I don't know if Karmelo Anthony's legal team even suggested a plea deal as an option to this family. But I don't know why you wouldn't take it into heavy consideration, knowing the details of this case, unless you unequivocally believed that Karmelo Anthony was innocent of all wrongdoing and guilt, which again, by the law's standards, not black people standards, not your emotional standards, by the law standards, he is not. He is not free of all guilt. But here's the last thing I want to say about this. I don't even believe that, knowing what we know now, having the ability to look at this entire incident with hindsight, I don't believe that there is a single solitary father out there, or mother for that fact, or guardian for that matter. I don't believe there's one of you out there that would tell their son to respond or react in the way that Karmelo Anthony did that day. Not even the most militant of fathers would tell their son to put themselves in a position to be in prison for the rest of their life, all because somebody said to them, hey, you ain't supposed to be sitting there. All because somebody said to them something that they didn't like. With a first-degree murder charge, this boy is staring in the face of a life sentence, with the possibility, again, of parole after 40 years. That means he'll be damn near 60 years old. No father will look at this and say to their son that it's okay to bring a weapon onto school grounds and then dare somebody to touch them and then go on and commit murder. And if there is, then they're most definitely a fool. And that's exactly how you know. That's exactly how you know that the actions of this boy were wrong. Because you would never advise your child to react this way and do what Karmelo Anthony did. You would never tell your kid to do what he did. That's how you know this is wrong. And unfortunately, I think Karmelo Anthony is about to find out and learn this lesson the hard way. He about to learn this lesson while receiving 3 hots in a cot. It is going to take a hell of a miracle for him to escape from any kind of lengthy punishment. But I guess we're going to find out. We're going to find out, and so are y'all. Y'all wanted this. Y'all wanted this boy to take this. Y'all wanted this family to drag this into court and drag this trial out. Y'all kept saying free him, that he was innocent. Y'all wanted this. Y'all gave this family hope that this boy could go in there, could waltz into court in Texas, and then leave at the end of it all and go home scot-free and sleep in his bed. Nope. Nope. Y'all have led this family astray. Shame on y'all. Shame on y'all. Y'all not the ones that's going to have to do the time that this boy about to do. But we going to see. Drop a comment down below. Catch y'all in the next one. Later.